Hello, this is Joshua Gutman, and I'm here with Andrew Koji to talk about season 2 of Warrior, premiering on Cinemax on October 2nd. Warrior is a martial arts crime drama following the exploits of Assam, a martial arts protege who goes to San Francisco during the Tong gang wars of the late 1800s. He becomes a hitman for the Hope Way Tong and is caught between fighting rival Tongs and Irish cops as the Irish and Chinese communities start coming to blows. The series is based on an original concept and treatment by Bruce Lee and will have its season 2 premiere on October 2nd on Cinemax. Hello.
Hello, hey Josh.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. How have you been?
Yeah, ups and downs with this whole lockdown life, everything. Um, yeah, some good days, some bad days. Some days where you kind of go, yeah, I'm gonna do lots today. I'm gonna be really productive, and then because you haven't got a deadline, kind of things just kind of simmer on for a bit. So yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, I'm just noticing around your room, Pulp Fiction. That's a good one. Army of Darkness. I haven't actually seen that one.
Oh, you
What's that
got it.
about?
Army of Darkness, like best combo action horror like you would love it.
Really? Who directed it? Is it?
Oh, it's Sam Raimi. It's the third
Oh, Sam
film
Raimi.
of the Evil Dead trilogy, and this one leans a bit more into like the action and fantasy elements, and there is horror in there,
Yeah.
but it's got great special effects. You would get a kick out of it.
Yeah, the poster looks quite awesome. I was like, what's that? I mean, is that like 1980s, like a really good classic 1980s film or something?
It's from the '90s, and it
Yeah.
is definitely one of those classics you gotta get your hands on. I guess since we're all in lockdown, it's best time to do some digging, you know?
Yeah. Wait, and I can see some Japanese there. I'm just Kanboi P
Oh, it's
Pa.
it's Cowboy
What?
Bebop.
Oh, hey, Cowboy Bebop. Oh yeah. They're making that live action now, aren't they? With John Chu.
Yeah, they are, and I'm excited for it. I mean, I've always been a fan since I was like in high school, and I'm curious about what they'll do live action wise. And but I think that no matter what happens, the animated series will be untouchable. You know?
Yeah, I think I'm very skeptical, like with Hollywood remakes of stuff, and because they hardly ever get it right. I've heard for Cowboy Bebop. Where have you gone, Josh?
Oh, I'm still here. Do you see me?
I, oh yeah, there you are. Um, I've heard I had on the last film I did. There was the one of the stunt girls. She worked on Cowboy Bebop, and I was just like, yeah, is it really okay? Because I don't know, they never get him right, and she was really adamant that they've done something really good there. So I
That's good.
think,
That's good.
yeah, and that was like behind the scenes. When you get promo and press, everyone says everything's awesome, but like
It's good to get the
this was like,
behind the scenes scoop of like this is gonna be good.
yeah, and I heard John Chu. I think that was a interesting choice, but I've heard that he's like really brought his own flavor to it. So I think that'd be cool to watch. I mean, I like his work though,
Yeah, and
personally.
I'm interested in how they'll approach the music, you know, because one of the big things Cowboy Bebop is its use of music and how it informs either the not just the tone, but even the character motivations themselves and highlighting some of their own anxieties and isolationism. So I'd be
Yeah,
interested to see what they do in that regard.
I've got to check that out, to be honest. I think I've only seen that there was a film, wasn't there? Cowboy Bebop film.
Yeah, there was a movie that was sort of like it took place in like the middle of the series, but it was a standalone movie. But the series as a
Mm.
whole, like it's one of the things that's pretty easy to find. Like I'd recommend digging in.
Yeah, I'm just never very good at series. Like, ironically, I just, yeah, I kind of like the only series to watch all the way through with Peaky Blinders, and I tried. Can you even believe it? I tried Breaking Bad, but I never just got through to the end, just because. Yeah, I don't know why. I just
I guess
yeah,
like the real world is rough enough. I mean, I guess why like feel the anxiety when the real world's already gets you anxious enough.
yeah, and then all that is quite dark. It was really good though, but but for long, like, I think I'm more of a film person. I like to see the film and I get involved in the world, and then I can rewatch it. But like series, just so like, yeah, but I'm in a series. So I know.
Yeah, and thankfully Warrior's fun. Like Warrior's a really fun series, and season
Yeah.
two, like I really enjoyed it, and you're awesome. So that's something that you can watch all the way through and have a good time.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Whereabouts are you in the world right now?
Oh,
You're in
I'm in Manhattan.
Manhattan. Oh, nice. The home of Spider-Man.
Yes, and by actually living close to Joe's Pizza from Spider-Man.
On the way.
Yeah.
You could, yeah, Joe's Pizza. That I remember you could play that in the PlayStation 2 game. You could go down to Joe's Pizza and you could hear the music, wasn't it? Do you
Yeah,
remember?
nice. My God, I haven't thought about that game in a long time. Thanks for bringing back the memories.
There was Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man game, PlayStation 4. Sorry, talking video games. Uh,
We should
um,
probably get started.
yeah. Okay, let's get started. Yeah, I was geeking out. I was geeking out.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I guess a fun way to sort of go in from geeking out is that one of the aspects of Warrior I really enjoyed were the amazing fight scenes and how well they were choreographed. I was wondering how you prepared for the fight scenes and what it was like having to work with the other actors during the fight choreography.
Um, well, so we had the boot camp. The Brett Chan put us on this boot camp training with all the. I mean, season one was different to season two because by the time season two came about, Brett kind of trusted me more because I think everyone's got. I know my own training routine and what I feel like I need to work on and what there's certain some of the stunt guys are just absolutely hardcore. They train for their life for all day and every day, and uh, I think so. So I had to kind of adapt my training routine because, like, if I go all out one day, then the next day or later on the day, I don't have enough energy for rehearsal, for the acting bits. So it was trying to. Season one was a lot of experimenting and then pushing to see the limits and kind of go, okay, this is roughly the schedule, the training, the fitness routine, um, and also within the realms of shooting a TV show, which is different than like if you're doing a competition or going competing in a bodybuilding fitness thing. So season two there was a lot more trust. There was training. We kind of compartmentalized the training. So there was the kicks, there was the traditional martial arts, there was the nunchucks, um, and then obviously then there's the rehearsals for the choreography, and the Brett Chan's team would choreograph the fights. Jonathan Tropper, he would write pretty much the outline of the whole fight, so you could see that he goes there, he does this. So he wrote very detailed the fights, and then Brett just has to bring it to life and then kind of make it work on screen, add a few things here and there. Then it's the actors who come along, and then we come along after the foundation of the choreography is there, so we can get a feel for it. And then once we just start trying to fill it out and to feel a moment where we might have to, where we take like to try and find the psychology of the fight
Right.
as well, and to try and break up the rhythm. I think a lot of fight scenes nowadays, they're in a very kind of staccato rhythm, and I think we wanted to try and fight and play with that and make it a bit more find the beats where it could be a bit slower, where it could be about a character moment, an acting moment. um so that, yeah, there was all those kind of things. And then with for me though, the main person that I felt that like I learned so much from was Joe Taslim. uh, like like I think he is, I really think he's like an exceptional screen fighter. There's a difference between like fighting and obviously screen fighting, but he just knows how to turn on that screen fighting charisma kind of thing, like whatever the hell he does. And he knows how to relax. He knows how to. I think season one, there was lots of things I was channeling and trying to do, and I was really is what like I wanted to try and live like I was fighting for real in those situations. And season two, there was a lot more playfulness that I wanted to kind of put into Assam because he's now at a different psychological place as well. So
Right.
yeah, it was quite a collaborative experience, I'd say.
And that was actually what you mentioned before is something I wanted to talk to you a bit more about. How much does Assam's characterization and personal psychology take into consideration when actually crafting the fight choreography?
Yeah, I think so. But I think that's the thing. Like Brett Chan, he'd get to know us how well. First, there's the script, Jonathan Tropper. I think a lot of it, when you're on a good show, or a lot of it's in the script because they've figured it out. And when you're having to do a bad show, you have to put a lot more work in to figure that stuff out. So luckily, Jonathan Tropper writes very detailed, and so you kind of get the feeling of what you're going for, and then Brett will customize the choreography for you, um, for each individual actor and character. And then with the psychology and the acting beats in it, we would that would be things we either discover on the day, or things that we leave open for. This is going to be an acting beat, but we're not exactly sure. There has to be a bit here because we take distance here, and what's he going to be like, and then it all comes together with the edit, really. So there's so much, a lot of it, a lot of what's in the final product, season 1 and season 2, is because they allowed us to experiment as well. So that a lot of the stuff, a lot of the shots that you'll see, or the beats in the fight, certain beats within the fight, they weren't actually written or scripted. We were experimenting and trying to find it, and then it was a really good, cool process in that way.
When you say you had the opportunity to sort of experiment, can you give like an example of like when you were sort of allowed yourself that freedom during a fight scene or a fight choreography?
Well, I'll tell you the first time, because after that it happened quite a bit, and it was just because Brett Chan, I started to work with him. He started to trust me. We started to work together really well. But I'll tell you the first bit, which was episode 1, the first pilot episode, season 1, where I catch a punch like that, and then I kick the guy against the wall, and that initially was just supposed to be a boom and then a kick. But there was no moment there written. Like, it was like I ended up, the one they chose was where I kind of go, "Oh, that was close," and then kick him. And but we did that like 10, 15 times, and I was like, I remember I caught the punch, and I said, "Well, why don't I try something here? I can do a little cheeky look or something like that." And boom, did that. We did it in like 10 different ways, or I can't remember how many different ways. And they ended up choosing that one. And so that was the first time I was like, "Oh, um, they're open for me to try and put as much as I can in different places." So that was the first time, and then it kind of snowballed from there, I think. And it was, oh, and I got one more thing for you.
Yeah.
One more thing for you, insider scoop. Episode 10 of season 1. No, 10, 9. The one with the factory fight, with all the Chinese, with all the Irish mob before he comes and kicks me, punches me. Dean O'Leary's character is when I go back, and I just said that there was supposed to be a moment there when all the guys are surrounding me, and they wanted a kind of maybe an Assam kind of thing. And I thought, I don't know, I think it doesn't. He only does that when he feels like he's on top of things, and he's in control of things, or he's trying to look like that. But I think this is a moment to do that Bruce Lee thing. So that moment where I kind of do this with my arms, I kind of like do that, and that's that Bruce Lee kind of a throwback to, I think, the one where they're all circling him in the dojo. Oh. Yeah, it's all the karate guys are surrounding Bruce Lee, and he's just kind of changing up the thing. So yeah, that was another moment where they kind of was like, I just said, let me try this thing. Let me just do this. I think it might work better. And I just said, I pulled it out the bag, and then it worked. And then it's moments like that, and that makes it worth it, man.
You inject a lot of charisma and charm in your performance as Assam, and it feels very reminiscent of Bruce Lee. Plus, I caught a few references and Easter eggs in season 1 and 2. Did you watch any of his movies to prepare for the role?
Yeah, I mean, his movies, I think, but I watched pretty much all of his films. Mainly the ones that he made after he was famous, because he made loads of films before he kind of was famous. He was a child actor, so I didn't watch those ones. But a lot of what I studied and learned from was his interviews. Really, his interviews and how he conducted himself, and his energy. That was, so the interviews, I felt like I was watching the real Bruce Lee, spontaneous and honest and authentic in the moment, because when you're acting, there's like a persona kind of thing that you're putting out there. So that was more about the fighting and those nods, but the personality, the psychology was definitely, I think I drew a lot more from the interviews, especially that black and white one with Piers Piers Burton, I think his name is, the famous black and white interview. That was very insightful. I think that one.
I mean, clearly it paid off because you did a fantastic job in
Thank you.
the show, and including in both season 1 and season 2. I'm excited for when everyone gets to see it.
Oh man, have you managed to see the whole thing, the whole season 2?
Oh yeah, I saw the entire season 2 to prepare for this, and I'm gonna write my review and everything. But I'm just excited for when I get to actually talk about it with my friends and tell them, watch this episode. There's a whole tournament fight episode. It's awesome.
Oh man, thank you, man. Yeah, there was lots of. I think season 2 was like a. I mean, like yeah, like we were saying before, I think we started recording. You know, there's a lot of you know, when you do press, there's a lot of sometimes for some things there's a lot of people are saying nice things, and that we were all family, or it was magic, but you can feel that it wasn't the case. That's something they've been told to say. But in this on this occasion, man, this was it was so far in my life one of the highlights of my life I've had on that set, and the most creative, collaborative. And season 2 in particular, everything started to kind of form together and kind of really fuse together. So I'm excited. I'm more excited than normal, because normally I'm like, oh, I don't know, when my work, when I release something or something that's coming out that I'm very like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to watch it. It's not going to be, yeah, I don't want people to see it because I don't know. But this one, I'm actually like, I'm excited for people to see, because I really feel like a lot of people put a lot of hard work and good work in there, I think. So it's nice to be able to be honest about it.
No, I totally understand. Well,
Yeah.
we gotta run, but thank you so
Okay.
much for your time. I'm
You, man.
excited to, share this, and I'll send you my review and everything. And I
Oh,
really
man.
hope you have a good weekend.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you too, man. You too. And stay safe during this crazy time of life, of the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stay safe, and I hope you can find some good shows and movies to keep you entertained while all the craziness is going on.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. Take care, man.
Bye.